Alright, so now you've finished with your box of pennies. You have your zincs, you have your coppers. Now, what do we do with the zincs? Okay, like I said, get one of these, get some of these, get a bag to put the zincs in. Alright, I'm just going to take this, and I just stick it into the bag, scoop it up, and kind of shake the change down. Sometimes you get little jams. You just shake it, and they fall in. Alright. So you scoop until about at the top, and then grab a handful, drop them in. One more. Alright, got your 50. Take that, open it up on one end, stick it on, drop the pennies in. Kind of shake it, make sure they're not funky in there, and close up the ends. Penny roll. Boom. Scoop some more in. Like I said, before I really had my processes down, how I did this, the way I was doing it was taking me about an hour and a half. So I about cut that time in half to re-roll them. Some people like to take them to Coinstar and just dump them, and it's retarded. You go into the bank, eventually anyway. Roll them up yourself. Take them back. Get all your money back for them. Why throw a few dollars down the drain every time? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I guess a few dollars is no big deal, to kind of save you the hassle. But if I could do a box in a half an hour, I mean, what the hell? It's free. It doesn't cost me anything to take it back. I'm going there anyway eventually, and no one's taking a cut of my money, and if you're doing this as an investment, I don't know about you guys, but I keep, pretty detailed records, and if I were to be dumping, I have a record of my pennies and how much copper's worth, and I have little spreadsheets and everything made. So if I just took all the loose zincs back to the Coinstar and they took a few dollars from me, um, that would have to go into my spreadsheet. That would have to go into my investment amount. That had to be considered part of it because it cost you a few extra dollars. So not only did it cost you the amount of copper, but the amount of zincs that you lost on return. So that just kind of it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary cost. So why even deal with it when you just take a little extra time and re-roll? I mean, I just did 4 rolls talking and not really trying to pound them out, and didn't really take me that long. So you just you pound out the rolls and take them back to the bank. No big deal. Now, some people say their banks have some banks have um, machines that they'll let you use that sorts the pennies and counts them up, and they'll pay, and it doesn't cost anything. Like if you could find that, then God bless you. Go ahead. You don't have to re-roll them. You just save yourself a lot of time. But I haven't really asked. Maybe I should just call around on the banks and ask about that. Maybe somebody has one. But if not, I'm content with re-rolling. It don't take that much time. Um, some of the things. Don't take your pennies back to the same bank you picked up from. I mean, this is. I would hope this is obvious to everybody. I mean, you're going to piss them off. You're buying pennies, you're taking pennies out of the pennies, and then you're bringing back all the pennies. They're just going to get a little frustrated with you, and there's no sense of doing that because you might find your zincs back in circulation. Not if you stick with unopened boxes, but they might, be trying to give you the loose change back. You never know. That's why you always have a few banks to go to. So you set it up like the one bank kind of, I don't like the tellers there. They're kind of rude. So I didn't want to deal with them and asking them for change. So I decided to make that my dump bank. So that's my dump bank, and you know, as far as they know, I just have a bunch of change buckets laying around that I've been collecting and since I was a kid. Because I just come up with stock answers because people look at you weird. They're like, they look at you weird when you're buying them, and they look at you weird when you're dropping them off. So to avoid anything, I just tell them I collect old pennies and leave it at that. Just a vague stock answer. And when I'm dropping off, I just tell them I have a bunch of pennies at home and I'm tired of looking at them and whatever, dropping them off. So don't get into why you're doing this and that. They don't need to know. Um, and if you want to, if you're that type of person, you want to let them know and educate them or whatever. That's fine. But just don't be surprised if you get funny looks. So, you know, like I said, some banks will give you change, some banks won't, some banks will hassle you. If a bank hassles you, and 'cause they're lazy basically, you just make that a dump bank. If you have an account there, make it a dump bank, and they're gonna have to deal with your change anyway. And you just take your dollar bills and walk out and go down the street to the other branch of the same, of your bank and pick up $25 worth of pennies, bring them home, re-roll or sort them and re-roll them, and start the cycle over again. So, that's kind of how you do it. Like I said, don't buy loose change. Might get somebody's zincs. Don't pick up and drop off. Like I shouldn't have to say that. I mean, it's just so totally obvious. But people, I've been the one guy on a website was complaining because he was on a forum because his bank was getting pissed at him for taking his zincs back to him after he picked out the copper that he just bought from him. It's like, and the kid was like 17. It's like, or 18 maybe, and you're young, dude, and you're hassling them for pennies, man. They're not gonna be nice to you. They're gonna give you a hard time. So, you find banks that cooperate, and sometimes you don't. And I've been having a hard time getting banks to cooperate. They'll give me loose rolls of half dollars and stuff, but nobody has the unopened boxes at the branches. And I don't know, like the one girl said she'd order them, but she'd have to talk to so and so. So I haven't pulled the trigger on ordering a box of halves or anything yet. I've bought loose, but I've never found anything. So that's something maybe I'm looking to do. Need to get the money to put up for it in the first place, but that seems like it's a little more of a hassle for them, and they're a little less willing to cooperate with that one. Most of the banks they keep the $25 boxes in the back in the safe, and it's a little bit of a hassle for them because they got to get up and most banks they don't let anyone in there alone, into the safe. So if employee X goes in, Y has to be with them as well. So, they can corroborate that they didn't screw with anything in there. Um, so it takes, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's a little more of a hassle. You got to wait a little bit, and you got to wait for two people to be free to go back to the safe. But you know what? I mean, if you went in there and asked for $25 in singles or $25 in fives or whatever, they wouldn't hassle you. They'd count out the money and give it to you. And it's the same damn thing. You just want it in pennies. And I don't know. Don't pay any premiums either. If they're trying to say, well, it's going to cost you. I don't know if any banks do that, but you should know that every bank I've been to has given me $25 worth of pennies for $25. I've heard that if you order brand new boxes, like uncirculated, I think there's like, I don't know. I was reading something about it, but it hasn't applied to me, so I didn't really read too closely into it. But yeah, just remember, you're paying $25. So if you just remember those things, you can get yourself a nice little hoard going. Like I said, a couple months, I was able to. I have almost. I think I have a little under 30 pounds now. After this box, we'll see what I get to. I usually, pull 4, 3, 4, 5 pounds out. So, just keep cranking them out.